All right, good afternoon, everyone. We've got Coach Elko here. Texas A&M travels to Texas on Friday for a 6:30 Central Time kick on ABC. So with that being said, Coach, why don't you begin with an opening statement?
Yeah, first of all, wrapping up Samford, players of the game, scout team on defense, we went with Kendall Jackson. On offense, it was Preston Landis, who obviously got a chance to score on Saturday, which was great for him. And then on special teams, it was Zach Clay. Our lineman of the week on offense was Robbie Bourdon. I thought it was great to get him out there, get him a lot of reps. Thought we saw a lot of really good football from him. And then on defense, it was Marco Jones. I thought Marco had a really, really big day, very productive. Players of the game, offensively, we went with Amari Daniels. It's great to see him get over 100 yards, get a touchdown on senior day. That was a really cool moment for him. Defensive player of the game was Landon Rink, another guy who up front I thought had a really, really disruptive day. Wanted to give another shout out to Noah McHale. I thought he was the other one that was really close for that, another kid who had a really, really good football game for us. And then the special teams player of the week was Landon Rink also for getting the big block and preserving the shutout. Would have went to Javon Thomas had he not gotten tackled by the kicker. I told him I was going to say that in the press conference today. But no. And so proud of our guys, proud of how we handled it. And now we turn our attention to the Cotton Holdings Lone Star Showdown and another great opportunity on Thanksgiving weekend to play our rivals. So from there, we'll open up to questions.
Coach, we'll go to the right, third row, David.
Texas's defense, or just their team in particular, remind you of anybody you've played this year with that strong defensive line, the way they go about their business? Anything that gets you prepared for this game?
They're really talented. They're a really talented football team. Obviously, anytime you play this game, it's going to have a little bit of a different energy about it. That'll be one of the biggest challenges that comes along with it, and I think it'll be an exciting opportunity for us Friday night.
To the left, fourth row, Rob.
Howdy.
So what does it mean about this conference that you guys are pretty much going to have the perfect season just to get into the conference championship game? Talk about the grind and what it means.
Yeah, I think obviously the way things broke this year with our schedule inhibited some of our tiebreaker abilities, and so it's going to force us to go 8-0 to get to Atlanta, and it is what it is. I think in another year, certainly last year it wouldn't have taken the same, but that's just how this conference goes. And so you got a lot of teams playing each other, battling it out, and we're just fortunate to still be in it going into the last weekend of the year again.
We'll stay to the left, second row, Aaron.
Hey, Coach.
Hey.
Besides the obvious difference, how does the game being on a Friday night affect kind of the week's preparation, especially for a big game like this?
Yeah, I think obviously with the magnitude of this game, it certainly isn't the first time we're diving into watching them, and so that helps. It's not like sometimes you throw these short weeks into the middle of the season against an opponent you don't play very much, and that makes it a little bit harder from a preparation standpoint. I'm quite certain that they do. I know we do spend time on each other in the off season, and so it's not like when you turn the film on, it's the first time you've seen the schemes that you're going against. And so from a preparation standpoint, I think you're in a little bit better situation just because of who you're playing. For the players, you're just trying to balance the ability to get them the reps and the mental reps that they need to prepare and get ready for the game. Also understanding that physically you're one day closer to the game than you normally are. And so today, for example, is a Monday preparation day, but a Tuesday on the calendar in relation to when the game is. And so I just think you try to balance both of those things to make sure that you get them ready physically and mentally to go out Friday and be ready to play.
We'll go to the right, front, Travis.
Mike, with Casey for y'all, Niblett for them, how much is special teams maybe a focus of this game and in just rivalry games in general when the margins can be thin?
Yeah, I think when you talk about this game, I think, the critical factors of football will play a huge role, right? Turnover margin is going to play a big role. Explosive plays is going to play a big role. Winning on special teams is going to play a big role. When you have two teams that are going to go battle it out without a ton of separation between the two of them, it's going to come down to those really important factors that'll determine winning and losing, and so that's where you've got to try to stay on the front end of it.
And from the film study that you've done, how do you feel like this Texas team is different now than they were at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, certainly they were playing a lot of young guys and a lot of new starters, and I think as they've gone through the season, you've seen a lot of growth. You would anticipate that. They do a really good job developing their guys, and it's a good football team.
To the left, second row, Alex.
First, just what do you feel like it is about your offense that you guys have been able to just play so well on the road and have the success on that side of the ball?
Yeah, obviously, I think we have an ability to be explosive. That helps, not being locked into having to always put together, 13, 14, 15 play drives. I think those are the things that become a lot more challenging when you go on the road with the environment and the crowd and the defense playing with a little bit more energy. Sometimes it's hard to, execute 15 straight plays. So I think some of our explosiveness has really been important for us. I think you've seen that in each of our road games, and that's been important and certainly will be important Friday night.
And then just wanted to ask you about Tyler White and just the ability for him and his brother to play together this season, especially after losing their dad earlier this season unexpectedly.
Yeah, I think it's been a real challenge for Tyler. I think he's gone through a lot mentally. I think he's leaned on some of the resources within our program to help and support him through, which is what has been a really difficult situation. Obviously, I think one of the reasons why we tried to help get his brother here was to help put the family back together so that they weren't having to deal with it in isolation in separate parts or separate universities, and so that always helps. And the support system in and around the program has done everything we can to support and help him, but it's certainly a very challenging thing that he's been going through.
Coach, we'll go all the way in the back, Tyler.
Yeah, Mike, what have you seen from Arch Manning? Is kind of to the you talked about developing them as a team. Have you seen maybe a different player the start of the season to how he's playing now?
Yeah, I think he's a really talented quarterback. I think he's capable of making a lot of throws and has really athletic feet and can do a lot of things.
Coach, we'll go right next to Donna.
Coach, you kind of touched on it on Saturday, but how do you balance just with all of the, I don't know, call it pageantry around this game and what the rivalry means and all of that? How do you kind of balance that with your players with just keeping focus on the task at hand?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest challenge in this game and it's rivalry games in general. I don't know that it's necessarily even specific to this one. It's, the emotions are going to be high. The energy is going to be high. Through all of that, you've got to find a laser focus to do the things that you have to do to go out and be successful, play in and play out. Sometimes you can want something so bad it almost blinds you. You got to be really careful of that, and I think that's always the thing that comes up in these rivalry games when you talk about how bad each team wants to be successful. It's the team that can really kind of rise above the moment a little bit and maintain that focus and maintain the composure that they need to go out and be successful.
We'll go to the third row to the left, Matthew.
Ending the season on such a big away game, how do you think your team has matured after the trip to South Bend earlier this season?
Certainly we've gone on the road 3 other times and had success in one. That shows maturity. We're 11-0. That shows maturity. We've found a way to be successful each week. That shows maturity. We'll see how it plays out Friday.
We'll go all the way in the back again to the right.
Coach, Amari talked on Saturday about how finish was a big word you guys emphasized in the off-season. How much have you guys mentioned finishing this week, and is that kind of the message or the word you're taking through this week?
Yeah, I think it's it's probably not as important this week, to be honest. As much as finishing in the game will matter, because I'm sure this will be a fourth quarter game, like it always will be. I think it was a mindset to get us through some of the hard parts of the season. Obviously, this is the final week, and so finishing the season is important, and finishing this week and this journey is important. I think the magnitude of this moment will create enough energy that it doesn't really need to be a big part of it. We'll talk a lot about finishing within the game and finishing plays for sure, though.
We'll go back over to the left, third row, Aiden.
Howdy, Coach.
Howdy.
When you were interviewing for this job a little while back, what did the athletic staff do to describe the sheer importance of this game to the 12th man?
Honestly, nothing. I don't think this game came up in my interview process. Now, I haven't been a college football fan and haven't been here for 4 years. I didn't probably need a ton of explaining on what the magnitude of this game was. I said this last year, the amount of times that this rivalry was mentioned prior to us even playing kind of gave me a little bit of an indicator of what it would be like when we got back on the field together. And, obviously last year was a huge event here in College Station. I'm sure this is back there now for the first time, and so I'm sure it'll be very similar there. And I'm sure there'll be a ton of electricity in the air when we kick off.
And then one other question, sir. What did you tell the players this week to get their focus to maintain on this game, that this is the challenge ahead?
Oh, I don't have to tell them very much. I think they're pretty much clear on this one. This is an easy one to get their attention for.
Coach, all the way in the back again, Chip.
What kind of challenges does all their pre-snap movement and motions present defensively?
A lot. I think a lot. I think how you handle that and how you handle those adjustments will matter. They're very precise in how they go about what they're doing and how they're trying to create different leverages. And so I think it plays a big role.
Go to the front left, Tony.
Mike, obviously you see Texas in development under Arch Manning. They've gotten better, another young quarterback. You guys have a similar situation. What have you seen from them from week one to now that has kind of just stood out to you as you prepare for them?
Yeah, and they're a really good football team and can't wait for Friday.
We're going to go to the right, Carter.
Ike, do you expect Moss to be available this Saturday or Friday?
We'll see. Probably not, but we'll see.
Okay. And Owens and Craver?
Those guys are awesome.
Awesome. Cool. And we're about to talk to Trev. Just what did it mean for you that he got a new contract as well? And did you know that was kind of in the works for a while? And yeah, just what it kind of meant to you?
Yeah, I think it's really important. I think continuity is really important. I think stability is really important. I've really appreciated our partnership as we've gone through and built this thing. He's been a lot of fun to work with as we've talked about kind of elevating this program into a championship level program. He obviously has experience in it as a player and in his time at Nebraska, and it's been a great partnership, and so excited that it's going to continue for the foreseeable future.
We'll stay to the right, second row, Brian.
Mike, I know you've talked about Marcel throughout the course of the year, but what makes you, or what moments happened, or what stands out in your mind that really made you think this guy is ready for big time moments?
Yeah, I mean, certainly when he led us on a game-winning touchdown drive in South Bend, when he brought us to victory at Arkansas, when we needed to score on every possession, when he rallied us back from being down 30-3 at halftime against South Carolina and went, threw for almost 300 yards in the second half, and any of the ones in between probably, but those would be the three that stand out the most.
Yeah. And just a quick follow-up, I mean, just how much about this offense is about maintaining balance on Friday night? I guess it is, getting contributions from everybody.
Yeah, I think in big games in this league, physicality matters. How you can control the line of scrimmage, how you can establish the line of scrimmage. Those things always seem to play really, really big when two good SEC football teams play each other. And so I think who controls the trenches more often than not will have a huge upper hand Friday night. I think that'll be a big piece of this equation for sure.
We'll go back over to the left, fourth row, Rob.
Coach Morrison is playing the Longhorns tonight. Did he say anything about you guys potentially bookending a victory over the Longhorns with Thanksgiving in the middle?
No, didn't get a chance. Obviously, we'll be watching and we'll be cheering for him, and ton of respect for him and his program, and hope the girls go out tonight and get the job done. But I'm sure he's busy in preparation. So are we, and so don't have a ton of time to hop on calls like that right now.
Coach, we'll go to the front left, Robert.
Mike, it's one thing for the coaches and players to talk about this rivalry, but what of the fact that you guys took part in it last year, the coaches and everyone, how does that maybe move forward affect it this year?
Yeah, I think you get a feel for it. Again, I think I don't know that it over. I think it was what I thought it would be last year. I knew it was going to be electric. It was. I knew there was going to be a lot of energy in it. There was. When you watch the speed of the game relative to the speed of other games, it's a lot faster. Yeah, everybody seems to be running a step or two faster in this game because of how much it means. That's what happens when the energy gets up to that level, and so. It certainly, I guess, maybe reaffirmed what I thought it would be like, but certainly kind of how I anticipated it would go.
All right, anything else for Coach?
All
Great,
right.
thank you.
Thank you, guys.